Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you for joining me again in All Things Possible. Thank you, thank you. It is hump day, halfway through the week. We're just at the beginning of the month. I almost said halfway through the month, but it feels like halfway through the month. The year is going by pretty quick. All right, thank you for joining me again tonight. I have Jesse Hal coming on tonight. We're going to wait a few moments and see when he pops up and add him to the group. To the chat. And a little quick background of how I met Jesse. So I have a friend that has been on my page for a while, Pod, and he said, I love your lives, what you're doing. You should see or check out Jesse Hal. He's interviewing all these great people, and he just started, and his interviews has been amazing. So I checked him out, and we're all doing the same thing. There he goes. All right, Jesse, I'm going to bring you on in a second. And we're all doing the same thing from different perspective. And of course, I love what he did. So at the time I sent him a message, he was on his way out on a trip, I believe with his girlfriend. And so I got to watch his trip a little bit, kind of watch what he does, his message, and of course it resonated with me. Anybody moves from the space of love, we're on the same team. So I asked him to come on and share a little bit about what he does, and he also does interviews, so on his platform, and just to share with us a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. We're going to do our boom. It's going to work. And it worked! Oh, look at you! Look behind me too. You see my picture, like yours behind you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. Hello.
How are you?
I'm blessed. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. Here, let me just turn this up a little bit. Okay, perfect.
All right. Yeah, I can hear you great too. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. I always feel honored to be asked to come on and, answer some questions.
Yeah, Pod said he was like, he's always the interviewer, never been not usually interviewed. So I was like, let's see if we can get him on here, because I feel we all have in common is that we're trying to bring light to the darkness, right? To be aware of, at least if you're not aware of some information out there that can help change your life. That's what I believe we're all doing in different ways, different formats, but the same goal.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all about, connecting. It's all about teaching. It's all about, understanding what's going on, what's happening to us, so that way we can make the best decisions, moving through whatever is to come.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about what you do. I know you do interviews too. Tell me a little bit more about what you do.
So I'm Jesse Hal. I'm a truth warrior, lover of light. Jesus lives in my heart, and I just keep connecting, keep learning, and just keep trying to figure out, this dimension the best we can, because, knowledge is power, and, the more knowledge we have, the more actual power we have. These people that, are in control of things, they like power over other people, and that's not true power. That's just pathetic power. Real power is when you know what the power you have inside of your heart, and the love that you share. So people know me through the High Vibe Love Tribe. That was something we started about a year ago, just over a year ago, where we kind of did our own little thing to connect people through the lockdowns. And
Yeah.
so people were obviously scared, people were obviously confused, people were obviously not understanding what was going on. So we provided a nice safe space where people could come and hang out, and there would be me. I got some, good music on, and dancing away and lifting weights and doing that for about an hour. And then we would do a guided meditation. We do healing frequencies, Tibetan singing bowls. We do some healing runes. Reading from Kyle Gray's book, 111 practices to increase your spiritual awareness, and just helping people to have a nice place that, to calm down, and to, we weren't into the politics, we weren't into the craziness, because that feeds everybody's the live feed, their feeds are all about what's going on and the virus and all these kind of crazy things. So we just kind of kept it
Yeah.
real. So people that were involved with a whole bunch of crazy stuff all day long could come and just kind of chill out and feel good about things. And we changed a lot of people's lives, helped a lot of people through some dark situations, and we also uh, we also um, we're able to, have people have much better sleeps just because instead of having this craziness in your brain and then go to sleep. So we did it at 7 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every night. We went till like 11 or even midnight. So, it was kind of, we went for 2, 3 hours live every night for 11 straight months. And, when you kind of get yourself into a balanced vibration, kind of peaceful,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to sleep, you have a much better sleep than thinking about all the craziness that's happening in the world and stuff. So, it was definitely a really cool thing. And we kind of transitioned kind of out of that. And we've been doing right now for the last 3 months something called the Missing Link, Love Inspiring New Knowledge. And it's about just interviewing people about, different people from different walks of life, and just, talking to people about, last week we had David Icke, we interviewed
I
him.
heard,
So
yes.
that was really cool. This week, actually tomorrow, we're going to be interviewing Sasha Stone for part 2.
I seen
Uh,
that
and
too. That's so
yeah, and
cool.
if anybody knows Sasha Stone or doesn't, he's from the International Tribunal of Natural Justice. So they've been really going after, the people through a tribunal. The sex traffickers, pedophiles, people, chemtrails, 5G. They've been exposing it all. So that's some of the cool interviews. Our first one was Henna Maria. We interviewed her. She's a political activist from Denmark, and she's living in Spain. She's got quite a large following, and we've interviewed people like Juan Antonio Manzur. He's a Canadian, well, was a Canadian medic in the army, and then just woke up
Mm-hmm.
and realized that what he's doing is not fighting for or protecting freedom. He was just doing the medic part, but still he was involved in this army that's for God, but it's not the God that we all think it is. It's the gold, oil, and drugs that the military have gone through and kind of terrorized the world, so that way these rich assholes could have more money than they have when they print it all. So it doesn't really make any sense that the stuff that they're doing. But I've been spending 13 straight years on Facebook, exposing this tyranny and looking to wake people up. So I've never really been asleep. So it's I didn't really pay too much attention in school. I was never religiously indoctrinated, never been to a Bible camp. Like, I was born Christian. I was baptized, but that was kind of it. Parents didn't really take me to church or anything, so I didn't have any religious indoctrination. And I've just always just kind of lived my heart. I got bullied as a kid, a lot. I wasn't in the cool crowd. Like, I didn't learn English until I was 5, so maybe a little bit, behind a little bit on English and things. So I was always kind of signaled out. And once I came into my true power and realized how powerful I am, I used to look for bullies to make them cry. And it's amazing what happens to some, because bullies, they normally just pick on people that's weak. They don't pick on the strong.
Yeah.
And once
Yeah.
you stand up to them, you can see their lips start quivering and little tears come down their eyes when
Changes.
I tattoo my hand in the side of their head. And so that was kind of me just learning to not be bullied and to kind of get some frustration out of being bullied for so many years of my life. And all of that is kind of like progressed throughout life. And like 7.5 years ago, I stopped drinking alcohol. 7 years ago, I stopped all synthetic drugs. 6.5 years ago, I stopped smoking cigarettes. 3.5 years ago, I stopped eating meat. So just doing better things to understand who I am, what I'm about, what I need, what I'm doing here, and know that I don't need any of these vices to control me because, I'm beautiful just the way I am.
Absolutely. A couple of things I'm going to hit on that you said that I loved was, well, for one, what you're doing is by exposing the truth. I think in order to make change, like you said at the beginning, too, knowledge is power. So once you have the knowledge, full knowledge, because if you give part of the information and not the full information, you have this. It's the power. It's half power. But if you have the full information and know to make a choice, to make decisions from that place, you make a better decision. Like you're saying, for us to create ourselves. One of the things, like you said too, about the exposing of the false information that's out there, why I feel that's important is not for it to be feared, but once you know what you're dealing with, you can, because like you said, we have more power. So to me, nothing that anybody does on the outside scares me or puts me in a place of fear. But once I know what you're trying to create, and if it's not in vibrational alignment with what I want, I know I can control it then and take back control and create what it is I want to. So the knowledge to be able to do that is to know what angle you're coming from. And so that was one of the things that I was looking at with the information that you do share, was putting out there a lot of, the false information that they have for us, and not to fear it, but to know it so that we can change it. One of the things I hear, one of my favorite teachers, I have so many of them, but Abraham says that, there's so many fight against everything, anything that's bad. And every time we fight against something, we make it bigger. But to expose it, recognize it's like doing shadow work. Look at it and come from it a place and notice that we and what we believe and know, whatever you call God is, and if that is within you and you realize that you are part of that, is so much bigger than what you know what I mean, whatever they're trying to create. And not only that, I've also come from a place where I recognize what they do, recognize that is source in another form doing something magnificent for all of us who are aware, right? So I don't become fearful of them, but aware of them is a really good thing. I think that's a really good thing that you're doing, for us to recognize the false information so that we can now create the information, right? I think that's the power that we're realizing that we have, is that you can recognize certain information and take from it and grow from it and leave behind what we no longer need.
Exactly.
Right? Would
And
you agree?
Abraham
Yeah.
Hicks is my girlfriend Angeline's favorite. She's posting all the time. And
I love your girlfriend post to her face. She looks like a freaking angel. I love the feel of her spirit. I've never even spoken to her, but we know we can feel vibrations from people just by their picture, by their post, by the energy, by the way they speak. And I love her spirit too. So she's around. So I said hi.
she's amazing. And she's really been, she's really gone through a lot through her life. She's gone through, a lot of abuse for most of her life. And, now she did the work, she did all the shadow work, she read the Bible 6 times and twice in its original text and studied cultures and languages at the time when they wrote the Bible. So that way she could break free from religion, because that's one of the hardest things for people to do, because they're terrified. They're terrified because religion scares you into believing what you have to believe. And if you don't believe, then you're damned and you're going to some deep, dark place if you don't follow their rules. So that's one of the toughest things for people to do, is to break out of that. And so she's been on this journey for about 4 or 5 years. And I met her, a mutual friend, she was on her lives and I seen her. And then once I started, and she saw me on, on the lives. And then once we started the High Vibe Love Tribe, she started coming, hanging out at the HVLT. And then we started chatting. And then, one thing led to another. And, she's really been, blossoming, coming out of her shell. And she's just such a beautiful human being that,
I
I feel
see.
so honored just to be able to spend time with her all the time like I do.
Yeah, you can see that the like complements and love each other. Like there's some connections that you just see that are beyond our eyes. So I think that's beautiful. So she's involved also with your movement as well then now too, right? With your missing link, or is that just something that you is that your interview platform or?
Yeah, so well, she does everything behind the scenes. She makes the promo, she does the sharing out, she like helps, research information, some questions, and when I'm interviewing someone that's religiously based, then she'll give me a bunch of, questions because she was deep in religion, and so she's a really big part. And I believe it was the maybe the Sasha Stone first interview when after he left, I brought her in, and because most people don't see her because she's behind the scenes. So unless you're
Yeah,
actually connected with us, personally on our personal profiles, then you don't really see. And just much
yeah,
props to her because she's helping me through this journey, and she's just a beautiful, caring soul that loves to help out, and she's complimented me, definitely perfectly.
yeah. I think so too. I think so too. So tell me, what is it that you are? What is your intention with your interviews, and what is it that you see yourself doing in a few months and a year from now with your interviews?
Well, so the missing link is about finding out missing links about people and then the knowledge that, they bring. So most of the people that we interview have already got an online presence or already got, a lot of supporters, a lot of people that connected with them. They got, a big message out. But when you hear them talk on the message that they bring, it's just the message that they want you to know about them. So when I interview the people, then I'm asking them like questions, that people, want to know but don't ever get to ask and stuff. And, like, just say, for example, for David Icke, a lot
Yeah,
of people are, like, there's a lot of people that think that he's a controlled opposition or that he's possibly a Freemason, and so a lot of these things swirl around the internet. So when I'm interviewing these people, I got a lot of people coming at me. Oh, he's this, he's that, he's this. And so you get it a lot from all different sides. So for me,
you debunk them. That's what you're doing. You're debunking all the rumors and whatever, you're tackling it from that point. Then,
well, all I'm doing is asking them questions. So for David Icke, I asked him straight up, I said, you talk a lot about secret societies and, things like that. I said, have you ever been asked to be in a secret society or are you currently in one? And he laughed and he's like, no, he's like, they know better than to ask me, right? And like,
yeah,
so I've seen lots of people interview him, but a lot of people, they don't ask questions like that because, for one, they think maybe, that's not appropriate to ask because, he's there.
yeah,
But I'll ask anybody anything. If I need to ask somebody, I'm
yeah,
not afraid. I don't live my life in fear. And if people are really, if people are really living, and wondering about these things, why not ask them? And like,
yeah,
we interviewed Lee Camp, and Lee Camp, I'm not sure if you know who he is. He's a political comedian and he's been in the public eye for 10, 15 years. So,
okay,
he thrashes both sides. He thrashes the left, he thrashes the right, and he's just kind of like one of those guys that just, he's, I think he said he's a left wing guy, but he thrashes them all, right? So I kind of
yeah,
resonate with that because, the whole system is satanic and, we got to bring down this crazy system that we live in and stuff. So I just asked him out of the blue if he wanted to be, and I all of a sudden he's like, yeah, sure, I can spend an hour, and I couldn't believe that because he's someone that's I've been listening to for many many years, and then when
yeah,
we were talking, and then I mentioned something about the injections, these forced injections and all these kind of
yeah,
things. I don't like to say the V word because they kind of do a little bit of a little bit of censorship,
algorithm,
and they delete you. So my actually interview with David Icke got deleted off of YouTube. They said it was against community standards. So he was interview number
wow,
15 and he's the very first one. So if he was controlled opposition, why would they delete him? When I tried to advertise our little promo and pay Facebook to do it, they rejected it. So, like it
wow,
just shows that people are so silly. They have their, set beliefs. And and most of them come from somebody else. Someone, didn't like David Icke for some reason, and then all of a sudden made some videos and doctored some stuff and did all these things to make him look bad, and then a lot of people just parrot it. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's a Mason, or he's this or he's that, but they don't actually
Yeah.
know, but they just parrot because they see other people saying it, so it must be true. So we live in a society that just because someone's saying stuff, oh, well, it must be true. If I hear it on TV, it must be true.
Absolutely.
And
I
that
have teenagers. I know.
and
I have teenagers. She'll come back and said, like today, she said, the new what's it called when they do something? I forgot, like a challenge or whatever, right? So like every other week or so they have different challenges. She said the new one is that they're taking watermelon and mustard and they're eating it. And I was like, why? And she's like, I don't know. Somebody just did it, and now it's everywhere. It's like viral. Everybody is going viral. And so what you're saying, sure, it's so easy for you just take one thing and whisper. Those to me, okay, this is what I have learned like in the last, let's say 6 or 7 months, is that there are forces that are out there to create a certain emotion within us. And so that is a really good way that they just internet now, you just type in something, rumors or whatever. So what I say when I'm saying you're debunking them, what you're doing is that if people are just making up these rumors and you're, like you said, you're not fearful to ask anybody any question, and you ask this question up front, you give that person right there that room to break that rumor, because here's the interview. So yeah, I can see sometimes too when someone, like again, those forces, it's not even a particular person, don't want you to get that truth out there. They will, there seems to be obstacles sometimes in your way to stop you from, you know what I mean, exposing that. So but you're still going through, it still made it out there. I believe people on Facebook was able to see the interview, right?
Yeah, so we had 1,500 views on YouTube before they deleted it, and we're at like I think 7,500 views of that video on the Facebook page. So we have a Facebook page called The Missing Link. It's still up there,
Yes.
and then we have our YouTube channel called The Missing Link, and they deleted just off the YouTube channel, but it's still up on on our Facebook page and stuff. And
Okay, yeah.
right now, and it's been like that. So for a long time is that they rule by fear. They want people afraid and they want people divided. When we're divided, we're weak, but we're actually all one big, beautiful human race. We're all here in this thing together. But what they do is, like you said, is they play on these emotions and they get people to not like this person or not like this person. And you got these people that think they're so-called truthers, but they're going around and spreading misinformation or false information, or they're just spreading, things that they, their feelings instead of actually real facts, which actually works to help the satanic system. So they're actually agents of Satan, not even knowing it. They're thinking they're truthers, but when you're going and spreading anything that to divide anybody from the collective, then you're actually an agent of Satan, because, we need to come together and we need to do it through love. And there's only a small group of 13 families and their bloodlines, couple thousand, maybe a couple 100,000 total, are the real enemy, right? These are real bad people that are looking to destroy humanity. A big F you to God that we were able to down humanity. We were able to destroy Mother Earth. So there's a small group of people. Everybody else is just trying to figure this out. So when you're attacking other people, then you're actually an agent for Satan, because you're actually doing Satan's work by, dividing us when we need to come together now more than ever.
That you said the missing link, because I believe links, right, works with other pieces to make it a link. So we're all putting in the pieces. Like I said, every piece of what we're doing, it when you look at the basis of it, it's from love. The reason what you're exposing, whatever you're exposing, the information that you're bringing forth, and it's the same intention that I have too, is by people just hearing us have a conversation. This was our first time meeting face to face. We've talked a few times to the messenger, and to just feel the authenticity of from us talking and hear what works for you, what's working for me, and find something that works for them. Before we get ready to go, I want you to say, how can people reach out to you, find your links, find your show, find all that? Would you put the links in the bottom for us when we're finished with the conversation first? And then how can they find you? How else can they find you? I know you said YouTube.
Yeah, so we have a Facebook page called The Missing Link, and it's at T Missing Link instead of at The Missing Link because that was already taken. So it's at T Missing Link. And so it's The
Okay.
Missing Link is the page it's called, but if you're actually, when you put the at sign, it's T Missing Link. And then we also have our YouTube channel, which is The Missing Link, but it's a lot harder for people to find. So I'm on my Jesse Hal profile, so we always post all the videos. Like I said, Angeline is in behind the scenes, sharing to groups until we get blocked from sharing to all the groups. And all of a sudden we get these messages, hey, please don't post that live in the group. It's not for that type of thing. And she just goes and posts away to all the groups, right? Until they give us the block and stuff because what we're doing is, we're exposing the lies and everything is deception. So it doesn't matter if it's from A to Z. We've been lied to, we've been deceived. And as part of the big game is to make people confused, make people weak, make people divided. The other part is that, people are junkies. The people think that, oh yeah, you smoke a little herb and, you're a drug addict. Well, the actual drug addicts are the ones that are looking to get injected, the ones that are hitting their drug dealer in a white lab coat called a doctor, and they're getting these prescription medications. Those are drug dealers. There's junkies. How many people are on these pills dependent on pig pharma sorcery, right? So that's how they keep people, is through being medicated, and then also they spray the stuff in the air that people
So many,
see,
yeah, chemicals.
the stuff in the food, the pesticides, the preservatives. If you eat meat, they're in 90% of the pharmaceuticals sold in the world are injected into animals. So just imagine how much pill popping junkies there are on Earth. Well, that's only 10% of the pharmaceuticals sold. The other 90% get injected into animals. Weight gainers, steroids, antibiotics. So you're eating this stuff thinking, oh yeah, I'm eating some good healthy meat, but it's actually, you're eating chemical cocktails of stuff that's being injected. And in the 30s, when they made cannabis illegal, they also made hemp illegal. And so what they used to do is they used to feed the farm animals hemp, and now they're feeding a genetically modified corn and genetically
Yeah.
modified soy. So they're not even eating the proper food. That's why they're getting sick. So that's why they have to inject them with all
And
these.
goes into your body.
And then now
Yes.
you're eating it. So before, when hemp was in the animals' diets, they actually, you got CBD in, because when they eat the hemp, it goes into their system, it goes
Right.
into the meat. So now when you're eating the meat, you're actually getting CBD. But in the 30s, they
Yeah.
took that all away, and we've all got natural cannabinoid receptors, which means we need that in our diet. So there's a lot of things that we need that they've taken out. So,
Yeah.
animals, like I said, they get injected with 90% of the pharmaceuticals sold. So it was an easy for me to stop doing that. And I haven't had a cold or a flu or anything in 3.5 years since I quit eating meat. All of that had just stopped. And not just because I stopped eating meat, but because once I stopped eating meat, I took a lot more focus on eating more fruits and vegetables and eating more properly, because when you're taking
Natural.
something out of your diet, you got to make sure that you're not losing things. So I've been really
Something
on
back.
a very
Yeah.
good health and wellness conscious, to make sure that I'm putting the right thing in my system, which has increased my immunity. Which, when you have an increased immunity, like, what getting sick, you don't get sick from other people. You can't catch a cold or a flu from somebody else.
Well, and I want to add in there too, not only for your immunity, okay, because it's even more than that, because there's chemicals and all these different things and all these different ways, like you said, it's a slow type of poison for our bodies. What it does, and we've now scientifically proven that even how certain chemicals mess with your pineal gland, which is helps you have like conscious thought. So I watched a movie. I cannot remember the name of the movie, and it was like a movie that was, it seemed so damn boring, but I looked at it for some, it had the most amazing message. There was this guy that would go around to different cities, and he can actually take the tuning fork and tell there was vibrations being sent out in different cities and different areas. And now come to find out through NASA and through different government experiments, they do that with us. They have different frequencies that they will send out, that you'll find people are depressed all at one in this one area, or people are super happy in this one area, or people. So the food and the chemicals, the thoughts even that you're putting into your mind, help you vibrate at that frequency or maintain your own frequency. So the importance for me of eating properly, like you're saying, and I'm still working. There's some chemicals I need to take out, like you talked about cigarettes. That's one of mine. I need to take that off of mine. There's certain chemicals though that will keep us vibrating at a certain frequency that they're sending out to try to control the masses, in a sense, provoking that emotion, because emotion is one of the real reasons why we're here. That's what's left behind. The emotions you have with somebody is what is left lingering in them, right? So our emotions are important because that's the creation elixir also, we've learned. So if I can control your emotions, I can control your manifestation power. Do you understand? So it is deeper even than just your immune system. Yes, that's a side effect of greatness that you had now, health, but also just by being aware of, like what you said, what you're putting into your body and the information that's out there and everything like that, the exposing that you guys are helping expose, is that you will have more control of your own vibration and your immunity, so that you can consciously choose your experience and not follow the experience of what they want us to experience.
Exactly.
So thank
We're,
you.
we're, we're all energy, and we're energy and
Yeah.
vibration. This whole dimension is energy and vibration, along with water. Water transmutes through, through the energy and vibration goes through us all. So it's really important. I was listening to, he was an ophthalmologist, but he was also a naturopath. And he was in a conference and he was talking to thousands of doctors. And he was saying that most people's illnesses stem from energy blockages of some traumatic event that happened to them throughout their life, mostly in their childhood. So when you don't actually, deal with something that happened, and you forget it, and you lock it away, that energy is still stuck in there, and then it manifests into, your body telling you, and it comes into either cancers or this or that, because you've got some stuff going on, and it's just trying to warn you, that
Yes.
it's just trying to warn you that, something is, going on in there. And that's why it's really important to do shadow work and find out, what's going on. Like someone, a friend of mine who I known since, I was, in, junior high school, maybe even elementary. He started coming to the High Vibe Love Tribe, and then, he told me that, his story and what had happened to him. He had been molested from the time that he was 5 into the time that he was 15, 10 different times in those 10 years. And he was like saying, like, they could just smell it on me, like people would just know that, they could like abuse him or whatever,
He was
right?
the
So
target. Yeah.
after 15 was the last time that it happened to him. And then he kind of put it out of his mind, and he forgot kind of all, started living his life. He was in his 20s, got a job, and, met a woman, had a family, forgot all about this stuff, raised to a high management level of, the place that he was working for. And
Mm-hmm.
then in his 40s, started to remember the stuff that happened to him, and it
Mm-hmm.
made him go crazy. So he started remembering the abuse and stuff, and stuff that he hadn't remembered in 30 years. And
Yeah.
so all of a sudden the anger started to come out. He ended up losing his job. He was always angry. He was just so mad about life and mad about things that, he was being angry around his wife and his kids, that he had to actually leave and go to back to live with his mom to get away because he didn't want to be portraying that anger in front of his wife and his kids. So they were still together, but he had to like leave. So all of a sudden, he started hearing the Tibetan singing bowls from the High Vibe Love Tribe, and he says it was the first time in years that he actually felt peace and calmed down. And so I know a social worker, one of my best friends, and she deals with abused women and stuff. So, I got some numbers for him because there's not many programs to help men. There's lots for women, but there's not a
Yeah.
lot for men out there. So I was able to get
Yeah.
him some phone numbers. He started talking to some people and, started dealing with some of this stuff in kind of a healthy way. And then after a few months, I had met up with him and he gives me the biggest hug. And he's like, Jesse, he says, you saved my life. And just
Oh.
hearing that, like I got angel bumps all over my skin right now, just,
Yeah.
just
Oh,
even
touch mine.
feeling that vibration and, and like, in the last, 11 months that we were doing the HVLT, there's probably close to 100 people that had sent messages to me that it said, like,
Wow.
you literally have helped change my life and really being
Yes.
part of something. And, so was an amazing thing that, just spurred out of nowhere. How it started was I was watching Corey Good on the Pray for Earth Day. I think it was like April 8th last year. It was like
Yeah.
Meditate
Yeah.
for Earth. Him and his wife were on. So I decided to do a live and I had my Tibetan bowl and then I did the live with the bowl and then all of a sudden there was a whole bunch of people. I think there was like 20, 30 people online on the live and they're like, yeah, well, you should start doing this every day. And so we started doing it every day coming online. And then we're like, you know what? We've got to think of a name for this group and then put it out
Yes.
there. Everybody was putting their ideas. And then we came with the High Vibe Love Tribe. And then, that's how it all kind of like spawned. But
That's so
we
cool.
built a really beautiful family. And, we're there for each other if, like, because sometimes, like, when I interview people want to come and attack me or, people are, so then all of a sudden we've got all these warriors coming out and like letting them have it and like, don't mess around with, Jesse or Angeline. And, we just kind of protect each other. And that's what life is about is finding your tribe and then protecting them.
Mhm.
When people are talking
Awesome.
crap, well, you set them straight and you don't let them get away with stuff because, we really need to know that we're going to stand up for each other for us to be away from the fear vibration that they've caused this whole dimension to be in. It's about being afraid and away from our true power, which is love.
Yes, I love that. That's a great way for us to wrap this up because what we're doing and what you said and agreed with to me is that we are finding our tribe. I believe that we are all finding our superhero, the spiritual superheroes, and joining hands together. And it, like I've been saying this, it doesn't matter where you do this and how many. There can be billions of superhero teams because we're all doing the same thing in different forms. And what you're doing is attracting to the people who need what you have, who's been through what you've been through, can relate to what you've been through, and then therefore you exhort that superpower in them, which is sometimes love, which is sometimes forgiveness, which is sometimes protecting them, which is sometimes reminding them. Whatever your form is, that's what we're doing here. And so you are part of our spiritual superhero, and we're putting the links together. I love it all. I love what you're doing. I love you. I love your family. I love your girlfriend. I thank you so much for taking time to come on today. Is there anything that you want to leave with us before you leave tonight? And leave your links in the comments also,
Yeah,
please.
I'll put them in there. And, I love you. Thank you for, doing this. You have amazing eyeshadow. The eyes look great. Just wanted to leave everybody with tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're interviewing Sasha Stone for part 2. He's on a big resurrection tour around, the USA right now. So we're going to get to ask him about the tour and
So cool.
ask it. So it's a really neat interview. He's got a lot of energy. He's a really cool cat. When we first met him, because he's just got so much going on, and I'm just, someone just asked to interview him, so he didn't really know me. But by the end of the interview, it seemed like he really warmed up to me, and we really
Yeah.
got this cool
His
connection.
spirit knew.
Yeah, he saw me, and so we got this really
Yeah.
cool connection. So tomorrow, 11 p.m. Eastern, the missing link. So thank you, everybody, and I love you all, and thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the shares, the loves, and just even reaching out, and just helping us, learn and grow and come together as one beautiful family like we are.
Yes, thank you, Jesse. I'll talk to you soon. Let's please stay in touch. And if we have anything else we need to plug, my platform is definitely open to you.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much. Love
All
you.
right. Blessings. All right. Love you too.
Bye.
Oh, that was so beautiful. I love that. It is finding our tribe. I think it is about finding our tribe. And if you feel attracted to Jesse, he's going to leave the links under here so that you can get in contact with him. I love looking at all perspectives of everybody who comes on here and people who are watching. I'm sure you have your own too. And like, we find little bits and pieces. Sometimes, even if we don't have the same exact perspective, we find little bits and pieces that we connect on. And that's where our link is. That's where we hold on to the link of love, because the most important thing that holds those links and that chain together is love. It doesn't matter really what, you know what I mean, what your belief is, what you practice. It's about loving each other. And that's what the intention is for me doing these interviews, is to bring about how different people love. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are, what you do, how you claim yourself to be. You are exuding love to other people when you are sharing your story, sharing your life. I thank you guys for sharing your time with me tonight. Friday, I have an amazing person. I mean, I'm just meeting so many cool people like this, because they're like, you should check this person out, or you should check that person out. And the tribe is just getting bigger and more beautiful. And I'm excited to see this is just flourishing. Like Jesse said, it wasn't a mistake, it was meant to be. So thank you for joining me. I love all of you guys, all of you ladies, all of you souls. Have a blessed Wednesday. Check me out Friday night. We're gonna go late with James McDuffie. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, talk to you soon.